Hello everyone. Good evening, Jatin, Hemang, Divya, Diya. Hello Riyanka. Hello everyone. Good evening, Jatin, Hemang, Divya, Diya. Hello Riyanka. My system sound was also on, so you might be again hearing the same thing. So once again, welcome all of you. Very good evening. So this is going to be some short session for beginning of this new batch of CAT 2025. I can already see many of you are already there. So welcome you once again. It's very nice to have all the familiar names repeatedly. Yes, tentatively, Jatin. Okay. Atharu, Nanak, Ashu, there are new names as well. Ananya, Riya Thakur, Malik Khushi. Okay, so let's begin. Fine. Riya, I just mentioned, it is shortly short session. Ashu says, hi, hello, Chodo, Hare Krishna, bolo. Yes, Ashu, Hare Krishna. Okay, very good evening once again. So let's start with today's agenda. And in the beginning only, let me make it very clear. First, I welcome you all for this CAT 2025 new batch, which is starting from this arithmetic part. As you can see from here, CAT 2025 Arithmetic Series. And in this series, you are having first few sessions on YouTube, which is available for everyone. Whether you have not yet joined, then also you are able to see, so that you can make up your mind and you can join fast, isn't it? Anyway, so arithmetic is one of the most important topic, and in today's session, this is just foundation of arithmetic. So we are going to touch all the topics of arithmetic. So those who have studied already about arithmetic, as I could see many who are already existing students are also here, and there are many new ones also who have not yet started your preparation yet. So it is beneficial for all of you. It is just going to give you a review of the entire arithmetic section. Fine, I repeat, it is going to give you entire review, complete review of the entire arithmetic section. And we are going to discuss about the formulas you must know. By the way, grammatically, you know, formulas is not a word, right? It's formulae, right? Formula, formulae. But anyway, so in our colloquial language, we use the word formulas. Anyway, so let's begin. Ready? Yes. So directly we are coming to the topic. So I'm assuming that most of you are familiar with the different terms, different topics. Let me first quickly tell what are the different topics you find in this arithmetic part. Percentage is what we are going to just start. You may have seen a table on the previous slide. I will just show you again. So percentage, profit and loss, ratio, proportion, ratio and proportions, and then you have simple interest, compound interest, you have averages, you have mixtures, allegations, you have partnership, you have time and work, you have time, speed, distance, which is one of the lengthiest topic in this arithmetic part, because it is having a lot of things like average speed, then you have a proportionality, use of proportionality in time speed distance, and also you have relative speed, you have circular motion, right? Escalators, many things are there. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8 broad topics in this arithmetic part. 9 rather, right? 9 broad topics in arithmetic. And from every topic, almost from every topic, rarely you will find that any topic is there which is not being asked in CAT. Rarely, right? And even if some one or two topic may be there which is not asked in CAT, then from some topic you will be getting more than one question also. So effectively there are going to be 8, 9, 10 questions only from arithmetic. You can estimate now, out of total 22 questions, around 10 questions you are going to get from a single topic. So how much important it is, isn't it? So we are going to discuss the important concepts, the basic foundations, the basic formulas of all these topics in this one session, right? That is our agenda for the day. Isn't it going to be very exciting? Yes, it is going to be energizing. And as I have already mentioned, that those who have already prepared, started their preparation, so for them it is going to be a quick brush up of all the concepts. And those who are yet to start, this is going to give you a good review, right? Good overview of this entire arithmetic section. Okay, so let's start. Your regular classes will be in the evening times only. This is just pre-classes for that batch. Okay. Okay, so I'm starting with the first topic here, that is percentage. So in percentage, all of you know what is the meaning of percentage, right? You know the meaning of percentage? Ready now? So we are starting now. If you are ready to start, please confirm in the comments. Ready? For the first topic, percentage. There are very less comments. Yes. See, just because of your energy, you can enhance my energy as well, right? Okay, thank you. Good. So the percentage, all of you know what is the meaning of percentage. Percentage means percent, right? Per 100. Percent. Here it is also mentioned, percent. Cent refers to 100. So whenever we calculate anything out of 100, we call it percentage, right? I got 30 marks in a 40 marks test, right? I got 30 marks in a 40 marks test. Can you tell me how much percentage it is? How much percentage it is? I got 30 marks in a 40 marks test. If that is the situation, so how much percentage marks did I get? गौरव कुमार, मुझे खांसी है तो आई एम chewing one tablet. I hope that is not creating much difficulty for you. Yes, it is 75%. ठीक है, that's a simple thing. Okay, and as I just gave you an example that out of 22 questions in your quant section, approximately up to 10 questions you are going to get from this section. Okay, so can you tell me approximately how much it would be? So if I say 10 questions out of 22 are going to be from this arithmetic section, so approximately how much percent can you tell me? Approximately how much percent? Approximately how much percent? Maybe we can take the range to be 8 to 10 questions to be precise, right? 8 to 10 questions. Yes, close to 50%. Exactly, Tejaswini. Good. You know, and if I take it on the lower side, then also it is more than 35%. Right? Even if I take it to be on the lower side, then also it is 35% or more than that. Yes or no? So that is the importance of this topic, and that was the beginning of our percentage session as well. Okay, I'm taking the lower limit as well. So if it is 8 to 10 questions, so 21 ka 7 1/3 hota, right? So it is more than that. It is 35 to 45, we can say, right? If I take approximate values, I can say 35 to 45%. So 35 to 45% of questions in quant section are going to be there from arithmetic. That is the sheer based on your previous data only, right? So in previous years CAT papers, you can check on your own, right? There is nothing like it is boasted by any institute or it is boasted by any teacher or something. No, it's not that कि जब numbers आएगा तो हम numbers को तारीफ करेंगे, जब algebra आएगा तो algebra की तारीफ करेंगे. No, it's the real facts. You can check the actual question papers of CAT and you can see the number of questions from each topic, isn't it? So that is open to everyone. That's open to everyone. So 35 to 45% of questions in quant section in CAT are coming from this arithmetic section from last around 8 to 10 years at least. Okay. So now there are some percentage equivalents of fractions. So some percentage equivalents, as we saw here, 3/4 was 75%. So same way, there are some percentage equivalents which we need to remember, and I'm sure many of you are already familiar with them. Do you know 1/2 is 50%? Right? Even a small child knows that. Yes or no? Right? Everyone knows that 1/2 is 50%. 1/3, 33.33%. 1/4, 25%. 1/5, 20%. Like that, isn't it? So almost everyone knows that. But this table we need to extend and we need to reach up to this level. We need to reach up to this level. So I wish I want to give you 1 minute. Would be sufficient? Is it more time? It is more time. I'm giving you 30 seconds. I'm giving you 30 seconds. You can write all these numbers on your notebooks now. Please write all these numbers on your notebooks now. And I'm going to ask you a small question right now. Please, 30 seconds I'm giving to you. Please note these numbers. You can take a screenshot also. It's better if you write with your hand. So these fractions and their equivalent percentages. This is one part of the table, then second part and this third part. So in each column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 into 3, totally 18 values are mentioned here. Please write them. I'm going to ask you a question now, Jatin. When you are done, please write in the comments so that I get an idea. And if you require more time, then also please mention. Okay, I'm seeing few dones now. Priyanka, you are to write these values and I'm going to ask a question right now based on this. And I have given 30 seconds and I think it's almost about to over. Does anyone need more time? Does anyone need more time? Second call. 1/6 is 16.67. यहाँ कुछ और लिखा है क्या? Oh yes, thanks for that correction. 16.66. I must mention it. 1/6, 16.66 or 67. That's okay. Thanks for that correction, Jatin. Okay, fine. So anyway, thanks for going by this exercise. And now I'm not removing this screen from your site. It is still there. Now question is, I'm writing the question beneath here. In a that number of female employees in a company is more than 60%, but less than 65%. Now question is, what can be the minimum number of employees in the company? So now I'm giving 30 more seconds to you to answer this question. Please read it carefully and answer it. And table is still with you. And this question at once, it may look like very traumatic question. What is this? But it is really very good question. Okay, I am seeing some answers. Akash, 8:6. What is the ratio? How you are getting the ratio? 9.5 you are saying. Akash, please read the question carefully. You are to tell me the minimum number of employees in the company. It's not the ratio. It's number of employees. So Duck says 6. Arey Baba, Duck, if total employees are 6, then can you tell me how many would be female employees and how many are male employees? Tejaswini, same question to you. Rituraj, same question to you also. You're writing 4, 5 or 6 like that. Don't miss the first sentence of the question. Okay, Akash, you are saying 9 and 9 plus 5. So 9 males, 5 females, like that. Doug, 3 females means out of 5 there are 3 females. Then what percentage would be females? Isn't it 60%? But it was mentioned that number of female employees are more than 60%. Isn't it, Duck? That doesn't satisfy. Akash, in your case also, it doesn't satisfy the first sentence. We need to keep the percentage of female employees between 60 and 65 because it is more than 60 and less than 65. And I got my first correct answer by Atharva Bhosle. Well done, Atharv. Good. Okay. See everyone. So this was one just glimpse to all of you that how questions are asked in CAT. What intellectual level is asked from you in CAT. So CAT doesn't give you very simple questions, just simplify and get the answer. That would be there and that could be done by everyone, right? That others will also be doing, right? So what makes the whole difference is that are you able to see beneath the sentences or not, right? So yes, Tejaswini, this time you have got the right answer. 8 is the right answer, by the way. If you are looking in the comments what Atharu mentioned or something. So 8 is the right answer. And how to think of this? This is a very simple thing. Let's see here. So all the unit fractions are already mentioned here, right? 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 4, 1 by 5, 1 by 6, 1 by 7, 1 by 8, like that. Okay, na? And if I want my total number of employees to be minimum, so in a way, I want my denominator should be as small as possible, right? Denominator should be as small as possible. So क्या ऐसा हो सकता है क्या कि एक ही total employee हो? No, because if there is only total one employee, so वो या तो 100% female या 100% male, isn't it? So it will not satisfy this criteria at more than 60% and less than 65%. I want my female employees, I want my number of female employees to be more than 60% and less than 50%, less than 65%. Fine, it should be more than 60% and less than 65%. Now try to understand once again. If I'm saying if total employees had been one only, in that case number of female, या तो वो एक जो female एक employee है वो male है तो female would become 0, और वो जो एक है वो अगर female है तो वो female employees become 100%, तो 0 और 100%, so that doesn't work. So total employee 1 is rejected, right? अगर टोटल एम्प्लॉइज 2 होते हैं तो कैन यू टेल मी? सो फीमेल एम्प्लॉइज कुड बी व्हाट? अगेन 0 और 100% तो है ही, उसके अलावा मे बी 1 फीमेल एम्प्लॉइज देयर, दैट मींस 50%. सो दिस इज आल्सो नॉट पॉसिबल, सो दिस इज आल्सो डिस्कार्डेड. इफ देयर हैड बीन 3 टोटल एम्प्लॉइज इन दैट केस, व्हाट विल हैपन? थिंक, टेल मी फास्ट. So number of female employees can be 1 by 3 or 2 by 3, right? That is double of this, 33.33 or 66.66. So 33.33% or 66.66%. But none of these fit in this category, this range, right? So no need to write all the values. We can quickly check. So if total employees had been 4, that means number of female employees are going to be either 25, which is not in this range, or 50, which is not in this range, or 75, which also crosses the range. That is also discarded. Move further. 1 by 5. So number of female employees could be 20%, right? Which is less. 40% less, 60% not required, I want more than 60, and or 80%, which will be then crossing the limit, so that is also discarded. If total had been 6, then what will happen? So if there had been 1 तो 16.66 तो बहुत कम है, 2 कर दूंगा तो 33.33 नहीं चलेगा, 3 कर दूंगा तो 50%, उसके आगे जाऊंगा तो it would be 66.66%, it will cross the range, so this is also not allowed. 1 by 7 if I check, so that will also not satisfy because 14 4s are 56, 57% approximately, right? तो अगर 4 होते हैं females तो 57%, और अगर 5 कर दूंगा तो 71%, it will also cross the range. And in this 8, if there are 8 employees, so 12.5 into 5, you know how much it is? It is 62.5%. So that is the minimum value here. So there are total 8 employees, out of which 5 are females, because 5 times 12.5 is 62.5%. So 5 by 8, that is 62.5%, which means total 8 employees, out of which 5 are females and 3 are males, and that's how this number of female employees are more than 60% but less than 65%. So that is the minimum number of total employees possible in the company. Fine. So that's how we can make use of these very simple conversion to percentage, to fractions to percentage table, right? And these values should be engraved in our mind, or at least the few basic ones. So I've just given you these 18 values, and among these 18 also, these first 10 12 values are very important, and you must be thorough with them. Just by seeing them, you should be immediately able to apply them. Is it fine? Understood? Moving further now. Yes, 5 females and 3 males. So that is the smallest number possible here. Okay. Okay, moving further. Yes, Atharva, what you have done is perfectly fine. Good. Okay, quickly moving to the next part now. Is it clear to everyone? Right. Neha, we are just having overview. Don't worry, don't worry. It's a very basic thing, and I just gave you a nice question how to think, right? How to think, how to have our mindset while solving questions. Don't expect the questions to be too easy. Sometimes when questions is solved by us, we think, "Arey, itna aasan question to exam mein nahi aayega," right? And when we get stuck somewhere, then we get baffled also. So never lose heart and never become overconfident or overproud. So always keep learning. Okay, I'm moving further now. So we are still on this percentage part only. So we just saw that how to convert percentage into fractions and fractions into percentages and use them, and there are various uses. There are various good uses for that. Now, there are some important points further regarding percentage. Actually, how do we calculate percentage? So let's understand from very basic. Okay? Yes, in your regular batch, in your detailed batch, everything will be there, and everything will be explained in detail, and with a lot of practice questions also. As I mentioned in the beginning of the session only, in today's session, in this one session, we are going to have overview of entire arithmetic of all those 9-10 different topics as we mentioned in the beginning. So it depends how much time permits. So I will try to touch all the topics and try to give you some nice examples also. It of course depends upon you, how well you receive the questions, how well you coordinate, how well you cooperate, and how smoothly we are able to proceed further, isn't it? Yes. Okay. Yes, these are very simple thing. Okay, Manisha, don't worry. Even if you are beginner, these sessions are for beginners only. So those who are beginners, so I welcome all of you, and I want to encourage you and congratulate you that you have started your journey today, right? You have started your journey in your school days again. All these things, I have said it many times. I will continue to say it again and again. ये स्कूल वालों ने नहीं पढ़ाया, उन्हीं की वजह से आज हम लोग खा रहे हैं. I could say like that. There's no harm in that. So there are so many people who don't study at school. Otherwise, all these aptitude exams, all these aptitude exams, they are basic school level exams, I must say. They don't ask you anything. Hardly there would be anything which is beyond 10th level exam. No, hardly anything. Hardly. It means there is nothing actually, practically speaking. So if you had studied properly at your schools, and if you have actually studied, then it is very easy for all of you. And if you haven't, don't worry. So now still is the time you can, right? You can. Okay, so we are talking about this percentage point here. What is the meaning of percentage? So if question is like that, you get questions like this. These are simple type of questions now. X is what percentage of Y? So how do you calculate? Remember that? It's a simple formula. So X is what percentage of 5. So in the beginning, I asked you that I got 30 marks in a 40 marks test. So how did you calculate? 30 by 40 into 100, right? So 30 by 40 into 100. That gives me 75%. ठीक है ना? So if I need to calculate X is what percent of Y, so X will come in numerator, Y will be in denominator into 100. So that will give me the percentage, right? कि x कितना percent है y का. Is that thing clear? Is that thing clear? Should I ask you a question? By the way, here it is mentioned that x is more than y. You can ask your questions to me. If you will not write anything, I won't get to know. I'm not seeing any comment here. Maybe I need to refresh. Is it fine? ठीक है ना? Tell me, is it required x is more than y? Or x has to be less than y? What do you say? Or both are okay? Actually, both are okay, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that whether x is more than y or less than y. If x is more than y, in that case, your percentage value would be more than 100%, right? This session would be there at the YouTube only. So those who are joining late, or somebody is asking, I think Ayushi is asking about some notes or something. So this video will be there, and whatever you wish to do with that, you are free to do that. Don't worry. Fine. But from our side, there is nothing like that. Some other notes or something would be there. No, this video will be there with you, so that you can use anyhow you wish. Is that okay? Yes. Okay. So x is more than y is also true. Is possible. X less than y is also possible. Okay. By the way, let me ask you a question. If I ask, ki 100 is, everyone please answer this question now. 100 is what percent of 80? Answer please, fast. Everyone, answer please. 100 is what percent of 80? By practice, you will get to know. That's your answer. There was a question in the comments. Okay, so 120, 125. Gaurav, I think you did some mistake. Is it 120 or 125? It's 125. It's 125%. Ashu? Others, well done. This is 125%. So 100 is what percent of 80? It's 125. Or 125%, let me write. Okay, and how to calculate? The method is same as we have just mentioned here. This is simply 100 upon 80 into 100. Isn't it? You can simplify it very easily. It's not difficult. So 24s are 80, 25s are 100, and 4 25s are 100. 25 into 5 is 125%. So 125% is the right answer. Fine. So never think like that. Percentage cannot go beyond 100. It can. See the example, right? It's possible. So when we are comparing a number with smaller number, so the percentage would be certainly higher, right? And if it is the other case, otherwise vice versa, so then percentage would be less, right? Okay, moving further. So now this is the next important rule. Now x percent of y is equal to y percent of x. Right, this x percent of y equals to y percent of x. This is also very, very important tool while handling questions, and this is really one of my favorite tool here. It is very small thing when we are seeing it, but it is actually very effective, very effective. Let me give you a simple example for that. Suppose if it is, if I ask you, what is can you tell me what is 25% of 72? Answer fast, please. What is 25% of 72? Everyone. Arithmetic, Ayushi. There's the obvious answer. It's 18, simple thing, right? How did we calculate? Because all of you know that 25% is 1/4, right? 25% means 1/4. We know that, right? So it is 1/4 of 72. That comes out to be 18. Isn't it? Isn't it? Only by practice, Mr. Anonymous, which you are missing at present. So be focused here. No, I am not going to answer in between questions, because then it will be only one-to-one session, right? Our objective is to cover all of these things. So I would request you also to please focus here and participate. Solve the questions. You will get experience on your own. Right? It is 1/4 of 72. Now, my dear students, if question had been find the 72% of 50. Can you calculate? Fast, please. So I hope you are getting the idea. So what was the important point when I was saying that this is very important tool here? X% of y equals to y% of x. So here 72% I cannot convert in fractions directly, but if I see it in respect to the second property here, it's not same answer 18, Tejaswini. I'll change the number. It is not 25, it is 50. Yes, exactly, Kaushik. It is half of 72. Good. So basically, this is nothing but 50% of 72. So that is the whole idea here. So how we can interchange this percentage symbol, right? We can interchange. We can change the position of this percentage symbol here. So this 72% of 50 is same as that of 50% of 72. And 50%, all of you know, it is simply half, right? So half of 72 is half of 72 is 36. So that is the right answer, and for which we don't require anything to even write, isn't it? So that's how, knowing this basic small tricks, this is foundational. These are the foundational tricks, right? So that makes the things much easier for us to solve. And only knowing these very basic nuances of this topic will make you stand ahead now of a majority of the people, majority of the applicants. Are you getting it? Is it okay? Fine. So I will move further now. Okay, so here's the next part. So this third thing you can see here. So is a percentage increase or percentage decrease, right? That is, what is x is what percentage more than y, or x is what percentage less than y. So whenever we need to calculate the percentage difference, right? There are two persons who are having certain amount of money, or there are two persons having certain age, or there are two companies with certain turnover of the entire year. So we need to calculate how much percent more one value is than other, or how much percent less one value is than other. So how do we calculate this percentage difference? The method is very simple. So it is the difference, which is x minus y or y minus x, right? So whoever is more, that value will come first, right? If x is more than y, we write x minus y. If y is more than x, we write y minus x, right? And in denominator, we put that value with which we are comparing the term, right? So like here you can see x is what percent more than y, right? So x is what percent less than y. तो than y जिससे कंपेयर कर रहे हो, right? So than whom. So whatever than, जो भी than के बाद टर्म आ रहा है, that will come in the denominator part. That is a simple way, right? So this difference upon with which we are comparing into 100. So that is a very basic and very important rule. But again, very easily people commit mistakes here. So let me again give you an example for this. Fine. I hope this formula is very clear. What is the formula? In the numerator, we will be having the difference, and in the denominator, we will be having that term which comes after than, जो than के बाद आ रहा है, जिससे compare कर रहे हैं, right? So x is what percent more किससे? Than y, right? X is what percent less किससे? Than y. So तो जिससे compare कर रहे हैं, that will come in denominator. So into 100, that will give us the percentage change, right? Percentage increase or percentage decrease. So example for you is here. I'm erasing this previous part. And by the way, if you wish to take a screenshot of all these important points, by the way, it's better if you write in your own hands. And if you want to take a screenshot also, that can also be taken anytime by pausing the video, isn't it? Okay, so I'm writing a question for all of you. Please calculate. There are two persons, say A and B. So A is having, let's say, 75 rupees in his pocket, and B is having just maybe 60 rupees in his pocket. So obviously A is having more rupees. So first question is, you have to tell me amount with A is what percent more than B? Answer fast. Amount with A is what percent more than B? And let me write the second question as well. Amount with B is what percent less than A? Answer these two questions. These are very two simple questions, very frequently asked with various values in almost all the exams, with different storylines. You can write the answer to both the questions together so that it becomes clear that for which question you are answering. Right? Most of you are writing it the correct way. Yes. So first one, it is 25%. See, you can, as I mentioned, the numerator part is the difference always. So difference is obviously 15 in both the cases, right? So x is how much more? 15 rupees more. B is having how much less? 15 rupees less. So the denominator, this numerator part is 15 in both the cases. But what is the difference is in the denominator. Why? Because in this first case, after than we are having B, we are comparing with the amount of B. I'm comparing the amount of A with respect to amount with B. So the 60 will come in denominator here into 100. That leads to 25%. Fine. In this second case, we are comparing the amount with B with A, right? With amount with A. B is what percent less than A, amount with A, which is 75, right? So here 75 will come in denominator into 100. That will lead to 20%, right? 15 5 is 75. So 1 by 5 into 100, that will give you 20%. ठीक है ना? So the moment you recognize these fractions, 1 by 4 is 25%, 1 by 5 is 20%, that makes your calculations faster. See, so the table in beginning which we saw, even if you don't remember it, it's not that you are not able to solve questions. You will still be able to solve questions. But if you remember those values, if you remember those conversions of percentage to fractions, and you are able to apply them in questions like this, then you will be able to solve the questions much faster, much. Fine. Now it's up to you whether you want to lead the race or stay behind. Oh, भागने दो लोगों को, मैं क्यों जल्दी करूं? Right? It's your choice. So now there is one more important concept in percentage here, that is multiplication factor. Ready? So on this multiplication factor, what does it mean? Again, it is very helpful to make your calculations faster. Yes, it's totally your wish. Thanks for that. Good, Jatin. That's what I and basically all teachers would demand, would like that attitude in the students, that you should try to become better, right? Okay, so the multiplication factor is again an important tool to solve the questions in a faster way. So what does it mean? So it says, for example, you increase any number by 10%. If you increase any number by 10%, for example, if we saw here, we had there was percentage increase or percentage decrease, like that. So if you are increasing certain thing by percentage 10%, so there is a multiplying factor which gets multiplied with that number. How does it work? Let's see here. So x, if I'm increasing x by 10%, so x plus 10% of x. So first you should understand, but I'm saying कि increase x by 10%, it means मुझे x में कुछ ना कुछ वैल्यू इंक्रीज करनी है, ऑब्वियसली, राइट? तो बट जो इंक्रीज करना है, कितना इंक्रीज करना है? 10%. अभी 10% ऑफ व्हाट, राइट? सो 10% ऑफ x ओनली, राइट? सो 10% ऑफ x. सो समटाइम्स पीपल मिस दिस पार्ट ऑफ x, भूल जाते हैं, x plus 10% ऐसा लिख लेते हैं, बिकॉज इट इज मेंशन लाइक दैट, इंक्रीज x by 10%. सो बट 10% अपने आप में इट इज इनकम्प्लीट, राइट? सो इट इज 10% ऑफ x. So now when I write 10% of x, so moment I write x here, so this x can be taken common now, which makes it 1 plus 10%. Is that okay? Right? It is 1 plus 10%. Now 10%, you know, this is 10 by 100. Out of 100, we mentioned that percentages का मतलब ही यही है, per 100. So 10 upon 100, like this. So this is 1 plus 10 upon 100. Now you can convert it in decimals also. You can put it in fractions as well. So right now we are writing it in decimals. So it becomes 0.1, isn't it? And now when you add this 1 plus 0.1, how much it becomes? It becomes 1.1. Now this 1.1, is known as multiplying factor. This 1.1 is now known as multiplying factor. So point is that the moment you get to know that x is being increased by 10%, x is being increased by 10%, directly I can write that new quantity becomes 1.1 times x. Is it clear? It is as simple as that. Fine. And if you have understood, so let me give you a small question then. So can you tell me what would be the value when x is increased by 37%? What would be the value when x is increased by 37%? Tell me fast. Don't write anything, just tell me the final answer. Because right now our objective is to learn the shortcuts in a way, right? The direct results. Excellent, Gaurav Kumar, good. This is 1.37x. The process is same, but it need not to be repeated, right? For understanding, that's sufficient. We have done that. Now, just by seeing it, the moment we see this part, we should be able to understand what is happening, isn't it? Here, I have increased it. There could be decrease as well, isn't it? Let's take another example. If I say this x is decreased by, let's say, 10% only. Can you tell me what would be the new value? By the way, this is perfectly very nice. Most of you have written it correctly. It's 1.37x. So now in this case, if I decrease this x by 10%, what will happen this time? Excellent. Excellent, Abhinav, Gaurav. Yes, good. So it is the same process as we did earlier. So it is decrease of 10%. So this would be minus, minus, minus. So 1 minus 0.1, that would be 0.9. So it is basically 0.9x. Excellent. So now the wiser thing here would be there, guys, that the moment you see these multiplying factors, so just by seeing these values only, you should be able to see what is the percentage difference, as we were talking about in these two questions, isn't it? For example, if question is given like that, let's say company ABC Limited has a turnover of turnover maybe 100 crores. Okay? And company XYZ Limited has a turnover of 127 crores. How much percent extra turnover XYZ Limited is having? How much percent extra turnover? How much percent more turnover XYZ Limited is having here? It's direct question, 27, isn't it? There's nothing to do. Everything is solved here. Right? Direct values. So basically, just by the ratios, I can sense that what is happening. Right? In place of 100, if I say it is only 1 crore, maybe 1.00 crore, and this is 1.27 crore. Now, will the answer change? Will the answer change? No. It will still remain 27%. Right? So that's the benefit of seeing this multiplying factor. So just by seeing the multiplication factor, we can see the percentage change here, percentage increase or percentage decrease, whatever be the case. Okay? So I hope you have understood all these points. So we've discussed few important points, almost basically complete topic. Basically entire important topics, important concepts of percentages we have discussed. So if you want to have a quick look again, you can see it. And now I'm moving further for the next part. Okay, is again a good question here. On the basis of multiplying factors only. See it here. We are basically multiplying x by 1.1. This was done. So that's it. By decreasing wala part also we have covered. Now there's a question here. Please solve this question, everyone. Please solve. Don't see the solution. See the question. Here is the question. Find the resultant value when 100 is increased by 20%, then decreased by 30%, and then increased by 12%. You have to find the final value. I'm telling the question once again. You have to find the resultant value when 100 is increased by 20%, then decreased by 30%, and then increased by 12%. So 3% changes have been made. You have to tell the final value, resultant value. Answer fast. Don't worry, Ayushi, before till we end the section, we will try to finish the entire topic, arithmetic. Yes, you can see the comment, you can see the solution here only. And those, yes, 94.08 is perfectly fine. So basically, how do we write? So the value was 100. So this 100 is first being increased by 20%. See, these increases can be made in terms of the decimals. The multiplying factors can be used in terms of decimals. It can be used in terms of fractions also, right? Or sometimes people try to avoid using multiplying factors also. If you try to avoid that, if you don't use multiplying factors, then sometimes the calculus becomes little tricky. But anyway, let's see that also. So if this is 100, if I'm increasing it by 20%, so 20% increase karna matlab 20% of 100 na. So 20 hua, that makes it 120. Yes or no? Yes, right? Now from this 120, I'm decreasing 30%. So this time I need to decrease 30%. Again, 30% of what? Of 120 only. Can you tell me 120 ka 30% kitna hota hai? It is 36, isn't it? Now don't do this mistake कि 30% को 30 बोल दिया, ऐसा नहीं करना, right? Now this 30% of 120, it is going to be 36. So if I subtract 36 from this, how much it is going to be? Let's see. So 36 subtract किया तो 20 तो पहले चला गया, 16 और जाएगा तो it would be 84. Is it fine? Now this is 84. Now the final step, increased by 12%. So I need to add 12% to it, right? So इसमें 12% और add करना है. Now 12% is going to create a little bit calculation part, right? I may need to use calculator. Okay, so you are having an access to calculator that can be used in CAT. There's no problem. There's an on-screen calculator, if required, can be used. So, but I am a lazy person. I don't want to use calculator, sir. So what can I do? So I can break it in smaller parts, right? So 12% ko I can break in 10 plus 2, 10% plus 2%. Isn't it? Is there any problem? No problem. 10% of 84, can you tell me how much it would be? 84 ka 10% kitna hoga ji? 8.4, right? So this is 8.4. And 2% kitna hoga ji? It will be further 1/5 of this, right? 1/5 of this. So 1/5 of this को इसको 5 से divide कर देते हैं. So 5 ones are 5. It's 5 ones are 5. बचा कितना 3. So 5 6 are 30. बचा कितना 4. So 5 8s are 40. So 1.68. So this quantity is to be added here, right? Let's पहले इसी को add कर लेते हैं. So 6 plus 4 0 1, 8 plus 1 9 and 10. So this becomes basically 10.08. So when added here, so it results in 94.08. So basically using multiplying factors, we had to multiply these three terms. Using calculator you can do it, or if you are not using multiplying factor, then also you can solve it step by step. It may take some time, right? That's how, choice is yours. So in certain cases, doing manually also may be better case, right? Now again, it's your call that which method you need to prefer. The point is that you must be aware about the very small foundations, basics of all the topics. ठीक है? Okay. I think such. Don't get confused, Ayushi. It's okay. It's okay. आगे बढ़ते हैं. Let's proceed further now. So there are some more examples of these multiplication factors. So this all part we have already covered. So what is the meaning of different percentage increases? So 30% increase means 1.3, 50% increase means 1.5, 15% decrease means 0.85, 60% decrease means 0.4 and so on, right? So all this thing is very easy part that we have already covered. So that's whole. That's the end of our first section. That was a percentage, and you can see this whole database research as I was telling you about, that this arithmetic is having, see, 40% questions. This is information about the last year. The last year there were three sections. There were three different sections. Basically, what 3 slots, right? 3 CAT slots were there. So as per the data of those 3 CAT slots, 40% questions were there from arithmetic exactly. And here scores are mentioned, that what score would have given you what percentile. So you could see here. So in quant section, a score of 45 marks would have given you 99.99 percentile. By the way, 40% मतलब 40 मार्क्स का बन जाएगा, राइट? तो अभी देखो कितने मार्क्स आपको लाना है ना, कितना ला सकते हो, इट्स वेरी इजी पार्ट. So by solving only arithmetic in CAT, you could get 27 plus score. सिर्फ arithmetic solve करें, आप कुछ भी ना करो. Only by solving arithmetic, you will be getting more than 95 plus percentile. It's very easy. And I have said it in one of the earlier sessions as well. As a CAT trainer, many of CAT trainers also we appear in CAT and just to see the pattern, difficulty level, and how much score is possible to be get, how many questions are able to be solved practically. ना, while speaking we can say सारे क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर दो या इतने करो उतने करो and so on, but while practically attempting, is it possible or not, that is also very much required to be checked. The things which we are teaching, are they relevant or not, that is also to be checked. So this time I was very much relaxed, I was not very focused. I need to score 100 percentile or I need to solve all the questions. I was thinking like that, but I was not very enthusiastically working on it. I was telling in one of the early sessions that I just solved 12 questions out of 22 questions in quant section. I'm talking you about in this year, last year CAT only 24 CAT, so only 12 questions, but that gave me 99.97 percentile. I was thinking कि यार बूढ़ा हो गया हूँ, अब ज्यादा क्वेश्चन सोल्व नहीं होते हैं. I was thinking like that कि only 12 ही कर पाया यार, 10 क्वेश्चन छोड़ दिए, कुछ तो कर सकता था, but I was going very lethargically. I don't know why. But I was able to solve only 12 questions in that moment, and questions were not difficult actually. Anyhow, that you may think like that, but the result when I saw, it was 99.97 percentile, and I'm sure that if I had been little bit more active, so at least 3-4 questions more I could have been able to do for sure. So it is not difficult at all to score a good percentile in CAT. So sometimes because of our so much what to call higher expectations or so many things, because of that we make the easier thing appear difficult. It is not difficult. So that's my assurance to all of you, that if you be religiously working on your goals and dedicatedly working time to time, doing all the things, all the assignments, everything, if you are doing perfectly fine, so then it is not difficult at all to get a good percentile. At least I can guarantee about you, my section, this mathematical part is quant, LRDI. So there is no way in my more than 20 years of experience now, there was not a single year when I scored less than 98 percentile. Worst score maybe 98 percentile, but overall has never gone beyond that. So even in just getting a good score in mathematical part, you can pull up your scores to great extent. So so you have a chance, and this new batch is starting with this arithmetic only, as has already been advertised. So let's proceed further now. Yes, classes will be starting after YouTube sessions. The classes will be starting in your regular paid batch, and that is a session, that is a schedule which I know. So initially you are having some free these YouTube sessions. So I think they are going for 1 week or so, and after that your regular classes will be starting in that evening time slots only. Fine. Okay, Ayushi, I think something should be left for the classes as well. By the way, everything is covered. There are some few things can be there. Okay, moving further. So now this is a small topic of profit and loss. And profit and loss is again a very simple part. It's not difficult. It's an application of percentage actually. It is an application of percentage. And so so isme what are the different what is the difference then? The only difference is about the terminologies. There are some kind of terminologies. So I'm a shopkeeper, let's say, okay? So I'm a shopkeeper. So I'm selling some articles, some goods to the my customers, right? So I'm selling the goods, so I must have purchased them, right? So that may have costed me something. So a particular article, how much it costed to me, so that is called my cost price, right? All these terms, this is basically 8th class NCERT, right? 7th, 8th class NCERT, we have done this. All of you have done this. But as I said earlier also, this whole 10th class syllabus, whole up to 10th class syllabus. So if you have done well enough in the previous part, it is very easy to go through all the things once again very fast. But if you have not done it in a nice manner earlier, you still have time and you still can do it. So cost price, I hope it is clear. So what price article costed to me as a shopkeeper. Now at what price I'm selling it to my customer, that is called selling price. Fine. So price of an article at which it is sold. Mark price, MP. What is that mark price? So mark price is the price at which the price is shown to the customer. The price which is shown to the customer. Is it fine? Okay. What is there? Ashish was in college, could not attend class. Ashish, after the session, it's not related to this session. Right now, please remain focused on this session only. Okay? I will answer your query afterwards if time permits. Fine? Is that okay? So keep your question in parking. There is a term called car parking. Fine? Okay, so let me continue. So we are talking about mark price. So mark price is the price which customer is being shown, right? The price which customer is able to see. Normally, whenever you see any tag price, right, on the showrooms nowadays, you are having there are no persons who is selling you different items, right? There are some caretakers standing nearby. But normally you pick up your things which you like and put it in your basket and you go shopping, right? Like that. So that price tag that you are seeing, that price at that tag, that is the mark price basically which you are seeing. Now how much you are going to get it, how much you are going to pay for it, that final price would be the selling price, right? So it may be you are paying the same mark price only, so they may be same also, or selling price may be less than mark price also, right? So can you tell me, if your selling price is less than mark price, so what would be that difference? What would be that difference? Can you tell me, please? Hatharu, I will be getting aside. Don't worry. You can take afterwards. What will be the difference between that selling price and mark price if I am purchasing the goods at less than mark price? What will be that called? Yes, that's my question, Ayushi. Sometimes you are paying the tag price, whatever mark price is there, you are paying that, but sometimes you are paying a lesser amount than that. Yes, that amount is called discount, right? So basically you get a discount or you demand a discount on that marked price only. Is that clear? ठीक है ना भाई? जो उस लेबल पे लगा हुआ है, लिखा हुआ है, जो दिखाई दे रहा है प्राइस, उसी पे तो डिस्काउंट मांगोगे ना, उसी पे तो प्राइस कम कराओगे ना. So whatever amount you are decreasing it or you are able to get it at a less price, so that difference is known as discount. So discount doesn't come on the screen, it may be on the next page. So cost price, selling price, mark price, discount. Now what is profit? So profit, as I was talking about my example, if I'm a shopkeeper, I'm selling it. So cost price से कितने ज़्यादा पे मैंने sell किया, that means the difference of selling price and cost price, that becomes the profit, right? So profit is earned when selling price is greater than cost price, right? And how profit percentage would be calculated? It is always calculated on cost price. So SP minus CP by CP into 100. And if there is a loss, then loss is also calculated on CP. So profit or loss, basically that depends upon the difference between CP and SP. These are the basic terms. Okay, I'm getting aside. A thorough or somebody who wanted to take a screenshot, you can take. I'm moving further. You can pause your video for a screenshot, right? So here it is. Right, this markup. There's one more, this term markup. What is this markup? So markup is the difference between mark price and cost price, right? So you can see this diagram also here. So mark price, cost price and selling price. Is this triangle visible here? Yes, Riya, you can say like that. There are different terms we can use for that. So in our questions, generally we use the term marked price, but in practical uses, there could be various other terms also, as you are calling market price. Some people also call MRP, right? Maximum retail price. So basically the price which is being visible to the customer, that is called marked price, right? So whatever name it may be given, right? It can be list price, it can be tag price, it can be label price. So many things can be there. Is it fine? Okay, so in this table, in this diagram, you can see now triangle, this CP, that is cost price, selling price, SP, mark price, MP. The difference between cost price and mark price, that is markup, this markup, right? So how to calculate markup percent? So markup percent का मतलब क्या है? Markup का मतलब है कि cost price को कितना mark up किया है, right? So nowadays markup करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती है, ऑलरेडी चीजें फिक्स रहती हैं, but at the back end it has to be done, and in the earlier days it used to be, because in earlier days there were individual retailers who were purchasing the goods from maybe the manufacturers or maybe the wholesalers, and then they were putting some display price on the things, and then they were selling to their customers by allowing some discount or something. So they knew that how much this the customer is going to bargain. Accordingly, they need to put the label higher. For example, nowadays also you can see there are many clothing merchants, many clothing brands are like that, many sari shops are like that, right? So they put their own price tags on their garments, isn't it? So they know that how much discount they are going to offer, what kind of customer they are going to get. In certain shops, you can see that they are going to bargain for a too much discount. So they need to increase their mark price, right? So how much you are increasing your mark price, that is called markup. I hope you are getting it, right? So how much you are increasing your cost price up to mark price को कितना ऊपर लेकर जा रहे हो, that is called markup, right? So mark price is the difference between mark price and cost price. So cost price यहाँ पे था, उसको कितना ऊपर लेकर जा रहे हो, that is called mark price, and its percentage would be calculated as markup percent, right? So the difference of mark price and cost price upon CP into 100, right? So this is the important formula. So point is that, so today's gain is that we need to be familiar with all these different formulas. Fine? ठीक है ना? हाँ, exactly. There are different kind of customers also, Teddy. Don't worry. ना, तो कई लोग, कई दुकानदार ऐसे भी होंगे जो आपका फायदा उठाएंगे, बट काफी दुकानदार भी ऐसे होते हैं, as you are also there. So there are shopkeepers like that also, those who are not good at bargaining. बोले जो price बताया, what kind of discount? They are not able to give discounts, and they are having only limited margins. They want only genuine margin. This much is required, I won't give it for anything less. But there are different kind of shopkeepers who are ready to bargain to any extent. Sometimes people give something at loss also, because now they are going to get greater gain in some other transaction. They are different kind of business persons. Anyway, so while in the questions right now, don't get distracted in practical scenes, because right now we are focused on the questions. In our questions, what kind of things are there, that we need to see. So markup ka matlab kya? I hope it is clear to everyone now. And same way, this markup and selling price, their difference is discount, that we were discussing earlier, and profit or loss will be the difference between SP and CP, right? So if SP is more, then of course there is a profit, and if SP is less, then there would be loss. Okay? Now this is again important formula. You can make a note of it. This is an important part. This is also an important part. So I'm reading it for you. It says, if there are two articles, one of them is sold at X% profit and other is sold at X% loss. Okay? Now that is a good variety of question, and there are shortcut for it here now. So one of them is sold at X% profit and other is sold at X% loss, then overall profit or loss percent on the overall transaction will be. That is a type of question, right? That is a question कि if there are two articles और दोनों को ही, एक को X% profit पे और एक को X% loss पे अगर सेल करें, so what would be the overall profit or loss percent, right? So now there are two possible cases. So one is when both the articles have same cost price. In that case, answer is 0, right? That is the first case. And the second case, when both articles have same selling price, again that is the second case possible. So in this scenario, the answer is there is always a loss of x square by 100%. There is no need to solve directly. We can put the answer here. Is it fine? Radha Krishna. CAT is in English only. CAT doesn't have bilingual paper. CAT doesn't have bilingual paper. It's only in English. Fine. Okay. So let me give you a question for this one. Okay? I'm giving you a question for this one. So please answer. So if I say, please answer it fast. This is a good question and very easily you should be able to do it. I hope so. So there are two articles, Article A and Article B. So Article A is sold at a trader sells both the articles, Article A and Article B. He is selling them at same selling price. Same price पे बेचता है दोनों को, right? So same selling price. Maybe 200 rupees. Fine. A trader sells the two articles at same selling price of 200 rupees each, Article A and Article B. So while selling Article A, the trader got a loss of 10%. And while selling the Article B, the trader made a profit of 10%. So question is obvious. You have to tell the overall profit or loss percent. Answer fast, please. You have to tell the overall profit or loss percent. Haria, in that case, it need to be calculated. These are two specific cases here. If CP is same or if SP is same, if nothing is same, in that case, we need to calculate only. Then there is no direct shortcut for that. Okay? You have to tell the overall profit or loss percent, not value, Atharv. 200 rupees is the selling price of each of them, each of the article A and Article B. Jatan, is a direct application here? Is a question is mentioned, it's a property is mentioned here. And I think only Gaurav has given the right answer here so far. See, the condition is that if there are two articles, one of them is being sold at X% profit and other is sold at X% loss, then what would be the overall profit or loss percent if their selling price are same or if their cost price are same? So these are two specific cases, right? So in this question, what we have given? So we have given that both articles are being sold at same selling price, isn't it? So this is the second scenario. Both are being sold at same selling price. And also, one of them is giving a loss of 10%, another was giving a profit of 10%. So as was mentioned here, that one of them is being sold at a profit of X%, other was sold at loss of X%. So basically, both are being sold at same percentage of profit and loss, and both are being sold at same selling price. In that case, overall profit or loss percent kitna hai? That is a question. So for that, we are directly able to apply this result. So this is X square by 100%. So what is the value of X in this case? It is 10% given, right? So in this case, directly we can see X is 10. So X is 10 here, right? And our answer is directly X square. It is a loss of how much? It is X square by 100%. So X is 10, so 10 square, that is 100 by 100, that is 1%. So 1% is the effective, net, overall loss here. That's it. It's not profit, Ayushi, it's certainly loss. It is loss only, see here. Right? It's always loss only. There is no profit. Is that clear, Jatin? And as Ria was mentioning, that if nothing of the two is same, in that case, we need to solve only. Right now also, we could have figured out, भाई ये 10% loss में बेचा था, 200 rupees में बेचा है, तो can we calculate its CP? Yes, we can calculate its CP. Same way we can calculate CP of B also. We can calculate the total CP also. We know the total SP. We could calculate the total profit or loss, right? That is the way to calculate, right? But it is not required because we can make use of this direct result here. I hope it is okay. Good. Let's move further now. Okay, so in this profit and loss topic only, there are a few more items, few more things here. Now there's a very interesting idea here of dishonest seller and faulty measurements, right? By the way, the things which we are doing today, you may have seen in the further sessions also. We'll be covering all these topics once again. Percentage will be again discussed in detail, bit more detail in further these YouTube sessions also. Percentage, then profit loss also, and other topics as well. ठीक है ना? So don't think like that. If I'm rushing through some topic faster, so don't take it otherwise, please. Fine. Okay. Ayushi ji, A's profit is also one. It's not profit of A, beta. That is, they were the two articles, article A and article B. So article A was being sold in the previous question you are talking about. In the previous question I talked about, article A was sold at a loss of 10%, article B was sold at profit of 10%. Both have been sold by same shopkeeper only. There's only one shopkeeper, right? He has sold these two articles, article A and article B. So after selling these two articles, what is his overall profit or loss percent? That's what you are calculating. That's overall loss of 1%. ठीक है ना? Individually he has got a loss and profit respectively. Fine. Okay, so dishonest seller. So what is the meaning of dishonest seller? Can you tell me? Dishonest seller का क्या मतलब है? So dishonest seller धोखेबाज, right? Honest मतलब ईमानदार, dishonest मतलब बेईमान है ना, बेईमान. ईमानदार, ईमान वाला, बिना ईमान वाला, right? So बिना ईमान वाला या बेईमान या धोखा देने वाला, चीटिंग है ना. तो चीटिंग सेलर को क्या बोलेंगे? मतलब why he is cheating? What is the purpose of cheating? Purpose of cheating is to get more profit, right? More profit. And the process of cheating could be faulty weights, as Rituraj has mentioned, right? Faulty measurements, and there may be mixing of impurities, right? Basically giving less quantity which he is supposed to do, right? Giving less quantity which he is supposed to do, giving duplicate material, giving inferior quality material, right? So objective is to get more benefit. That's simple thing, right? And which is true for every person around us, isn't it? Every person wants to get more benefit, right? But to get more benefit, is it necessary to cheat others? It's not that necessary, right? So that's a different, that's a vary from person to person, as Teddy was mentioning. So there are different person, but everyone is working for more profit. So is that person who is cheating. So what happens in these questions? So sometimes when students solve these questions on dishonest seller, na, so what mistake do they do? कि when he is giving less quantity, तो उतने ही का पैसा चार्ज करेगा ना, है ना? कि सर उसने कम क्वांटिटी कम दी है तो उतने का ही पैसा चार्ज करेगा ना. तो भाई उसने कम क्वांटिटी दी क्यों है? Are you getting my point? If I say that a shopkeeper, a dishonest seller gives only 900 gram quantity in place of a 1 kilogram block, weighing block, 1 kilogram दिखा के वो 900 ग्राम क्वांटिटी देता है, right? Like that. Are you getting my point? I hope you're getting my point. So while showing 1 kilogram, while his balance is showing 1 kilogram, he's only he's only giving away 900 gram quantity. Now, how much amount would he charge? What do you feel? Will he charge for 100 gram or will he charge for 900 gram? Will he charge for 1000 gram, 1 kilogram, or 900 gram? He will charge for 1 complete kilogram, isn't it? वो पूरा 1 किलोग्राम के लिए चार्ज करने वाला है. But sometimes students get confused in that. So don't think that उसने चोरी किया है कस्टमर के लिए. नहीं भाई, ले कस्टमर तेरे लिए मैंने चुरा के तेरे को 100 ग्राम वापस दे दिया. No. right? So he is giving less quantity to get more profit for himself. ठीक है? So that means he is going to charge him more. That means his selling price would remain same, but his cost price he is decreasing. Are you getting my in terms of technical things? If you talk about how to calculate profit, how to increase the profit. So profit was selling price minus cost price, right? So selling price तो वही ले रहा है, but cost price को वो और decrease कर रहा है because he is giving less quantity. Are you getting it? And that's how this is increasing the profit. It's up to 6. Who was there? Gaurav? I think I answered earlier also. It's up to 6. Don't worry about that. Okay. Okay. So now what is the best way to calculate the profit percentage? So you can make note of this direct result. This is a very important and good result here. So profit percent is actually claimed weight minus actual weight. Claimed weight which is shown to the customer कि इसको बता रहा है कि तुझे इतना सामान दिया, right? Claimed weight minus actual weight. So actual weight is that weight which actually you are giving to the customer, right? Divided by actual weight क्योंकि CP तो इतने का ही लगाना into 100, right? So example is also given here. To a seller sells 800 gram for the price of 1000 gram. मैंने 900 ग्राम बोला था, ये तो और ज्यादा चोर है 800 ग्राम दे रहा है. Anyway, so he's selling only 800 gram quantity for a price of 1000 gram, right? So 1000 minus 800 out of 800 because he's giving quantities worth 800 gram only into 100. So that will give you the profit percentage. So that is the best way to simplify, to find the profit percentage by a dishonest seller. I hope it is clear. Is it fine? Coming to the next part now. So that's a very small topic known as partnership. So, okay, finally Teddy has a smile. So this partnership, so in this partnership, what happens that when there are two or more than two people start a business together, they invest, they work, and finally after end of 1 year or maybe 2 years or whatever duration, after that they divide the profits among themselves. So that is called profit sharing in that partnership, right? So that's a partnership business. So during that tenure of the business, sometimes they may be putting more investment or taking away their investment also. That may be the case, right? So different things can be there. Some new partners may also join. Some partners may leave altogether also. There are various things are possible. So in that case, how to distribute the profits among those partners? That is the objective of this question, of this topic, partnership. I hope that is clear. I repeat. So there are more than two persons who start a business, right? There can be single person who has started a business, but others may join afterwards also. So objective is that if there are many partners in a business which may have a different amount of investments and they may keep their investment for different duration in that business, so how to distribute the profit among all of them? So that is a direct result for that, and there is nothing high funda for this. That is simple derivation. So simple result. The result is that when n number of people invest A1, A2, A3 and different amounts, and for these different durations, time periods, time T1, T2, T3 and so on. So then the profits are shared in the ratio. That is the result. So it is a product of their amount and the time for which their investments has been put in the business. That's it. So A1 T1 is to A2 T2 is to A3 T3 and so on. Fine. For example, there are three persons, person A, person B, person C. So person A started the business on the first day of the business he started, and he invested 1 lakh rupee, right? He invested 1 lakh rupee and he continued till the end of the business for 1 year, entire 1 year. And but B joined after 2 months maybe. Okay? So he worked, his investment is there for 12 months. So this investment, this amount has been multiplied with his time. Now this person B joined after 2 months and he remained till last. then that means his investment will be for 10 months because he joined after 2 months, right? Only 10 months are remaining till 1 year, and he also invested maybe 1 lakh, and this third person also invested 1 lakh, but he joined 2 months after B joined, but he also continued till the end. That means his investment is there for 8 months. I hope it is clear. So in a way it may look like that everyone has got an investment of 1 lakh each. So should the profit be divided equally kya? No. The time when they are making their investment, or for the total duration for which the investment is there in the business, that also plays an important role. So that's why we need to multiply their investment with the duration for which their investment is there in that business. So that product will give me the final ratio in which the profits would be shared. I hope it is very clear now. This is 12 is to 10 is to 8, or you can simplify it further, that is 654. Right? So in this ratio, the profits would be shared among all these 3 persons at the end of the year. Is that clear? Fine. Let's proceed further. So now we have a small and very interesting topic here, that is simple and compound interest. It's a very interesting topic. Ayushi, any question on the previous part? Fine, na? Okay. So now simple interest, compound interest, that is also a sort of application of percentage only. Yes, that's true. That's fine, that's fine. 12, 10, 8, that is 654. That's what I wrote there, Ayushi. Okay, so simple interest, compound interest. So it's a very simple thing again. Okay. So simple interest and compound interest. So what you already know, as I already said, all these topics belong to your up to 10th class mathematics, and simple interest, compound interest is also taught in 7th and 8th class NCERT. Whether you have studied NCERT or you have used any other book, whatever it be, but the syllabus is still there. So 7th, 8th class you have done it. So so what is the meaning of simple interest? So in case of simple interest, so basically interest किस चीज में है? Interest सबका पैसे में है, right? पैसे में. So whenever we invest certain amount, so then why do we invest? Because we have interest in getting more money out of it, right? So assuming that wherever we have invested, that amount is certainly going to come back, and with extra interest, extra amount on this, right? So that extra earning on that invested amount is known as interest, right? Now those interests are of 2 types. One is simple, one is compound. Now simple interest is what? The simple interest is calculated as a percentage of that initial investment. That initial investment we call it principal generally, right? So simple interest is always charged on a sum, or basically original principal, right? So that initial investment we call it principal. So simple interest is always calculated on that as a percentage of that, right? 10% something maybe. So at a particular rate and specified period of time. So at a particular rate means percentage, right? At the rate of percentage, interest rate, and a specified period of time, that for how much duration you have invested, you are investing that particular investment. Taken a rate of investment. Yes, that's true. So now simple interest for all years is going to be same, because interest is always going to be calculated on that initial investment, original principal. So that's why simple interest is always going to be constant every year. पहले साल अगर, for example, let me take a value. If I value is here only. See if you are able to see the diagram. I don't know. Perhaps it is not properly visible on my screen at least. So I'm sure you also won't be able to see it properly. But anyway, let me write here. So values given here are. Suppose principal is 100. Initially you are investing 1000 rupees. Sorry, initially you are investing 1000 rupees. Okay, and let's say rate of interest is I'm writing it here. Rate of interest is maybe 10%. Fine, rate of interest is 10%. Now, can you tell me in 1 year how much interest would be gained? How much interest would be achieved? 1000 rupees and rate of interest is 10% per annum. Every year 10% is to be received extra. This principal is invested only, right? It is not being taken back, but interest we are getting 10%. 10% is how much? 100. 10% of what? 10% of 1000, of course, right? So 100 rupees का interest मिल गया, तो यहाँ पर 100 rupees का interest मिला first year में. तो first year में, in the first year you are getting an interest of 100 rupees. Okay, so total amount will become 1000 plus 100. Now can you tell me what about the second year? If this amount is continued to be invested, right? If this amount is to be continued to be invested, so after second year, in second year how much interest we are going to get? First year का 100 मिला, second year में कितना मिलेगा अभी? Second year में again 100 more, right? 100 more interest is going to be there. So फिर से 100 rupees interest ही होने वाला है, and total it would become 1200, right? Only in second year 100 rupees interest we are going to get. Now total it will become 1200. Same way in third year again we are going to get 100 rupees. In third year again 100 rupees interest we are going to get, and total amount is going to be 1300. Is that clear? ठीक है ना? So that's how in simple interest scenario, so simple interest for all the years is same. So that is the purpose of this sentence here, that every year I am going to get same interest. Is that clear? Isn't it simple? Fast, please. Yes. So you can see in this diagram also, if it is properly visible or somehow. So you can see a maybe dim shaded line here, that is a straight line, right? So every year interest you are going to get the same interest, so gradually it is increasing, gradually it is this is inclining upwards, right? But if you see this red line shows the amount with compound interest scenario. This red line interest shows a compound interest scenario, because in case of compound interest, you not only get the interest on the original principal, you get the interest on the accumulated interest also. See, the compound interest is charged on principal and accumulated interest also. अभी तक जितना interest आ गया था, उस interest पे भी आपको interest मिलता है. That's how every time your interest also keeps on increasing. Fine? Yes, exactly. Interest पे भी interest. Fine? So because you are going to get interest on interest as well, that's why your total amount is not increasing linearly. It is increasing in a way quadratically, you know, or it looks like exponentially, something like that. It's actually exponentially only. ठीक है ना? इस तरीके से बढ़ता जा रहा है. Every time it is increasing very fast. It is increasing very fast. Okay? ठीक है? So in this case only, if we take the values, now let's talk about the formulas. पहले इसके value लिख लेते हैं यहीं पे ही. If I talk about its values, if suppose same values if we are calculating in terms of this compound interest scenario, same rate of interest 10%, same principal 1000. So after first year, what would be the interest? Same 100 rupees. Right? After first year, interest is going to be same 100 rupees. Can you tell me what would be the interest in the second year? Now interest in the second year is to be calculated on this total now, right? Interest in the second year would be not only on 1000 rupees, it will be interest on 100 also. So how much interest it would be? Yes, it is going to be 110 rupees. That would be the interest calculated in the second year. What about the interest in the third year? In third year, how much interest would be there? I'm taking the same example, Ayushi. No need to create another values. In third year now. Yes, it would become 121. Now you could see here, these values, this 100, 110, 121. If you see these values, they are also being increased by 10%. So basically every year's interest also increases at the same rate. Now that is a very important learning from here, right? If you are able to get it and if you are able to apply it, it is really very good learning from here, that every year's compound interest also increases at the same rate of interest. So in this case we had taken the rate of interest to be 10%. So whatever interest value was there in first year, second year it is going to be 10% more, next year it is going to be further 10% more, next year it is going to be further 10% more, and so on. ठीक है ना? We could have backtracked also. If some values are given, we could have backtracked also, we could move it further also, and so on. ठीक है? Now let's quickly move to the formula part for this topic. So these are the important, the basic formula for simple interest and compound interest. Simple interest, it is simple thing. SI is equal to PRT by 100, right? And for compound interest also, you know that it is P into 1 plus R by 100 raised to power T minus P. And where all these terms have their usual meaning, what is the value? What is the meaning of P? P is principal. This P is principal. R is the rate of interest per annum, right? That is annually, per year. And T is the number of completed years, right? So we need to be careful about these terms, that rate of interest is per year and time is in also in years. Sometimes there may be some variations in terms of months and all, then we need to take care of that. Okay? And now amount, that's for compound interest scenario. So amount is basically the total amount which includes your principal and interest. So in the case of compound interest scenario only, if interest is being compounded n times a year, sometimes it happens that you are depositing a certain amount at a compound interest scenario at certain rate of interest, but compounded, it is being compounded 2 times a year, every 6 months or maybe every 3 months or maybe every month, like that. So if it is being compounded n times a year, then how to calculate the total amount? So what happens is that we just need to divide the rate of interest by n, and we need to multiply the time duration with n, right? So total time period becomes n into t, and rate of interest for each duration becomes r by n, and the result is same. So in the same earlier result here, in place of r, I have written r by n, and in place of this time t, I have written n into t, right? Why we have done so? Because the interest is being compounded n times a year. एक साल में n बार interest is being compounded. So our rate of interest जो entire year का था r%, so for that small duration it becomes r by n, right? And same way, and r by n duration वाले जो n times हम कर रहे हैं, तो एक साल के हमने n parts बना दिए हैं. So for in t years, total duration, total such time period becomes n into t. So that's how the same formula is there. So only it appears different in presentation here. I hope it is clear. There should not be any difficulty here. Fine. So now you are in a position to take a screenshot if you wish. All these are the textbook formula. There is nothing new thing, but this was the important part. Yes, like half yearly or quarterly, many things could be there. Okay, let's move fast quickly to show you 1-2 more things. And yes, these are again very important results. I won't spend time on this now. Please, you can take screenshot of this. These are very, very important. Direct questions are asked in CAT based on this part, that is difference between compound interest and simple interest after 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, like that. Out of all these three, this second one is the most important. Second one is the most important and most asked question, not only in CAT, rather all different exams, whatever you might be attempting in. Fine. So difference between compound interest and simple interest after 2 years, right? So same principle, same rate of interest has been deposited for 2 years, one at simple interest, one is at compound interest. So what would be the difference between their interest earned? So that is PR square by 100 square. So that's a very, very handy formula. So you should be familiar with that. Fine. Aji hoke gaye. I will just take 5-10 more minutes and we shall wind it up. So let's move further. So here are a few of our feedbacks I would like to show you in between that you can read on our Facebook forums also of iQUANTA. Good appreciation posts on YouTube's also and Facebook's also. Anyway, coming back to the next topic fast. So this the next part is here about averages. So average after percentage and all this, average is also one of the very important topic for arithmetic part, and average has its important use in your DI section also. In DI, you will find enormously beautiful sets which have appeared in CAT. Very wonderful set, very less calculative, but a lot of logical thinking involved. So average is very important, fundamental. And based on average only, we are having another topic known as this mixtures and alligation. That is also part of average only. So before that, we need to have quick revision of average. What is the average? How to calculate average? So you can see, you all of you know this part, that the average is sum of all the observations divided by number of observations, isn't it? ठीक है ना? Deborah, same thing. How to calculate? Deborah is asking how to calculate if interest is compounded in days. So when I show you that interest is the amount is compounded n times a year, so n could be 365, isn't it? If n is 365 times a year, that means every day interest is being compounded, isn't it? So that formula is applicable everywhere. You keep on changing the values accordingly and you can get the answer. I hope that satisfies you, Devadatta. Isn't it? You just replace that n by 365 if you are compounding, if that amount is compounded every day. If you say, no sir, it gets compounded every hour, that could also be done, just divided by 24 further. Isn't it? So everything is solvable. But it's up to you that how much you want to complicate it. And don't do much. CAT doesn't do that much. But practically it is possible. Okay. Okay, so we shall just finish up this average part then, and we shall end for the day. Our time is also running fast. Is that okay, Devadatta? I think there is slight lag between when you ask a question and I respond, and when I respond and then you respond. Okay, so I shall proceed with this average part now. I hope that should be clear. So what is average? So average is sum of all the observations divided by number of observations. That is a basic way to calculate. Yes, 15-20 seconds lag is there. Yes, Teddy. Yes, that's right. So although I am seeing it for a long time now, but still sometimes it's the expectation to get the answer quick. But anyway, it's fine. Ayushi, but that happened for half year and after that it can be changed. Ayushi, that I have already answered that. I have already answered that. Okay, so now average of a set of values always lie between minimum to maximum. I think this is quite obvious thing. So if you are finding average of certain set of data, so whatever minimum value is there, whatever maximum value is there, that average is going to be between them. Yes or no? Of course, yes. So that's a very important point, by the way. It looks simple. Actually, all important things look simple, but they are actually important and very easily skipped, very easily missed. लोग भूल जाते हैं, ध्यान नहीं देते हैं. So average is always going to be less than or equal to maximum, greater than or equal to minimum. Now you may wonder, I should also ask you, why this equality sign is there? When it is possible, how it could be possible that average becomes equal to the maximum value? So actually it is not maximum value. When all values are equal, then that is the average only, right? So usko maximum bolo ya minimum bolo. So equality is only going to happen on both sides. Equality is only going to happen if it is happening on both sides. Simple. है ना? Equality will be there only when it is on both sides. Otherwise, maximum से छोटा और minimum से ज़्यादा value ही होने वाला है average. Fine? Yes, it is. We are just getting an overview. It's not. I'm sure that it will not be. I will not be able to do justice to all the topics. We won't be touching all the topics. But anyhow, as I mentioned earlier, that you are going to have sessions on all the topics also in the coming days. So there's no need to worry about that. So let's remember a few points about the averages. So average of the first n natural numbers. So average of first n natural numbers is direct formula. It is n plus 1 by 2. Here some quick important and handy formulas. They are very easy for you. So it is n plus 1 by 2. See, we have just talked about how to find average. It is sum of all the observations divided by number of observations, right? So if I want to find average of first n natural numbers, तो उसके लिए भी तो यही करना था ना. I need to add sum of all the natural numbers, divide by n, that number of natural numbers, right? So what is sum of n natural numbers? N into n plus 1 by 2, right? Let me write again. This is n into n plus 1 by 2. And I need to divide this sum by number of observations, that is n. So if I divide it by n, so this n would be cancelled. So it looks like just n plus 1 by 2. And this is a very simple thing, right? So now please tell me everyone, if I ask you कि 1 से लेकर 100 तक के सभी numbers का average क्या है? What is the average of all the natural numbers from 1 to 100? Answer fast. What is the average? What would be this average? It is 50.5, isn't it? See, there are a lot of formulas like that. I'm getting a slide. If you wish, you can take a screenshot also, and you will be seeing them again and again also in many places. But let me share you one thing which screenshot won't be able to do. The important thing to understand regarding average is that what is average? हम क्या कर रहे हैं while calculating average? So while I asked you this question, find the average of numbers from 1 to 100. Everyone, please look here and see, understand, try to understand. I'm talking to you. Yes, sir, you. So while I'm talking about how to find average of 1 to 100, so all of you have calculated that. But what does it mean 50.5? We got a number 50.5, है ना? लिख लिया हमने. We got the value 50.5. But what does it mean? What does it mean? So my dear students, when we say average, so average basically means redistributing everything equally. I repeat, as I was talking about this one, that minimum value, maximum value, and average would be when everything is balanced, right? Everything is balanced. That means everyone is having equal share, isn't it? Equal distribution. So that's what average actually is. So in this case, we are having 1 to 100 numbers. Basically 100 recipients are there. One is having 1, जी मेरे पास 1 रुपया है. दूसरा, I am having 2 रुपया sir. I am having 3 रुपया sir. Like that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up to 100. Right? So that's how we are having 1 up to 100. So that much wide span is there. So how to make them equal? Now there is a very important thing. So 1 and 100, just let's make them equal. What happens? So 1 plus 100 is 101, isn't it? 1 plus 100, 101. If I make them equal, so how much it would be? Both would be 50.5. That's what you have done here. है ना? But ये तो सिर्फ first और last को ही किया ना. Will it be applicable to the next pair also? Let's check. Second number 2, then second last was 99. So 2 plus 99 is again 101. So 101 divided by 2, when we make both of them balance, so that will be again 50.5. Then 3 and 98, again 101, right? 3 plus 98 again 101. Again they will be balanced to 50.5 each. So like that, so because we are having these consecutive numbers, natural numbers, they are having equal gap. or in other words, you can say the numbers in AP, arithmetic progression. Here it is, right? So it works for every arithmetic progression. So where first and last, second last, third last, and so on, average of each of the pairs would be same. And how it would be calculated? First term plus last term by 2. That's it, right? First term plus last term by 2. That will be the average of that entire arithmetic progression where every term was having equal gap. For example, as in this case, right? So here first number was 1, last number was n. So first number plus last number by 2. That's it. N plus 1 by 2. Same way here. Average of first n odd numbers. Now 1, 3, 5 up to 2n minus 1. Now these are odd numbers, isn't it? These are odd numbers. Now they are also having equal gap. So same thing, same trick could be applied here also. Yes or no? Yes, it could be. How we will apply it here? So here my first number is 1 and last number is 2n minus 1. I just need to add these two and divide by 2, isn't it? So if I add these two numbers, what it would be there? So let me write here 1 plus this is 2n minus 1, 2n minus 1 and divided by 2. That is first plus last by 2. So it would be applicable to all the cases where we are calculating the average of an AP, arithmetic progression. So this 1 would be cancelled, so 2n by 2 would be n. So that is average of first n odd numbers. N odd numbers. Fine. I hope it is clear to everyone now. So these are all different formulae. You can have a screenshot if you wish. So also we have a special case. If number of terms are odd, in that case this middle term will be the average in arithmetic progression. So average of n terms in an arithmetic progression is n plus 1 by 2th term, that is middle term when n is odd. And if there is no middle term, then also always we are going to be have this first term plus last term by 2. First term plus last term by 2. So that is going to be average of an AP. So in nutshell, that is the general result, right? Average of an AP. How to calculate average of AP? So in general, any sequence is there, any set of numbers is there. So we know this average means sum of all observations divided by number of observations. Now specifically when I'm talking about AP, so average of AP is first term plus last term by 2, or it would be middle term if number of terms were odd. If n is odd. Fine. Yes, this is how to calculate average. These parts are covered here already. Okay? So I think we shall finish here. So that's all for this session. So further you will be covering in other sessions. So I wish to have your feedbacks for today's discussion. I would love to have your kind words. If there's any question from your side, that's welcome. If you gained anything, if you learned anything, you can mention that also. That will be a quick revision. You can just point out any one good point which you may have learned today. Thank you, Shabnam. I should thank all of you. हृदय से आप सबका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. But I would love to really see if anything, if even a single thing you are able to learn from this session, that would be a real thank. That will be a real thank for me. Thanks, Ayushi. Thanks, Pavan. Okay, Shubham. If there is any question, I think somebody was asking a question. I talked about, I told that afterwards we can see. Teddy, whenever you take the session, beat the class, it is substantial for knowledge. Thank you. That's good words. Thank you for nice words, Teddy. Thank you, Manisha. It would be very nice, I am saying it again, it would be very nice that if you can mention any single thing specifically which you learned today. There could be many, but just point out any single thing which you like to mention. That will be quick revision for all of you as well, isn't it? What will be the first chapter of arithmetic? Generally, it is percentage, Ayushi. Got a clear view where we are heading. Excellent. Thanks for that, Amisha. That's a good review. Ria, thanks for explaining the topic in such an easy way. It is actually easy. No credit to me for that, Ria. जतिन सीआरटी में अगर दोनों तरफ अरे सीआरटी अरिथमेटिक की क्लास में सीआरटी लिया है जतिन चलो सीआरटी अगर दोनों तरफ रिमाइंडर सेम हो तो ओवरऑल आंसर भी सेम होगा यस एग्जैक्टली यस 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 दैट इज द पर्पस ऑफ सीआरटी ना टू मेक द रिमाइंडर सेम फ्रॉम ऑल द डिवाइसेस यस do we need to cover the number system as well sir will what if I leave that but cover the rest of the topics? Oh, I think you want to say that I leave one topic of quant and do other topic. So believe me, Mr. or Miss SG, you are going to ask same question after that topic also, because there is no topic, there is no topic which is very easy, and there is no topic which is very tough. In every topic, you are going to get mixed things. Some things would be easier, some things would be new. जो new चीजें होती हैं, that takes time to grasp. You need to practice. है ना? So I would suggest not to leave anything. I would suggest not to leave anything while preparing. In exam, you can leave the things because you know that it is going to take more time. This is going to take less time. I will do this. That's obvious thing. But if you have not prepared anything in a particular topic and then you are getting 5 questions, 4 questions from that topic, maybe उसमें से एक आध तो कर सकते होते ना अगर आपने पढ़ा होगा तो. So I won't recommend that leave any topic. I hope you are getting my idea. Okay, Shubham, I thought I have to learn this formula, but now I'm able to remind it by average. Thank you. Yes, yes, Shubham, good, good. That was the whole idea. That's what I was saying. Because see, personally, I am not in favor of so many formulae, and actually no teacher would be, I'm sure. But point is that nowadays customer is like that. You have seen the movie, no? वो क्या बोलते हैं बोले मैं मेमोराइज कर लेगा मेरे को समझने का नहीं है मैं मेमोराइज कर लेगा people are like that nowadays they don't want to understand so if you will increase your understanding your learning would be much easier and enjoyable otherwise without enjoyment it is very boredom like अभी as a teacher also वही बार-बार वही चीजें पढ़ानी है वही it becomes very boredom है ना but if you are enjoying in it then it is always giving pleasure to you, which I myself personally I have shared it many times with my students. I really feel much energized while teaching the same topics again and again. Maybe sometimes same questions also, but it is always enjoyable. So better your understanding. Work on improving your understanding. That should be the key message. Fine. Okay, Jatin. Ayushi, I can't afford the course, so is it available? Ayushi, I have no idea about that, so you can contact our admin team there. They will certainly help you out. There are so many things available. There are so many things available. Okay, so thank you everyone. So we shall end it here. So thank you once again. Hare Krishna.